Hey Reddit, I never thought it would happen to me. I had always believed that my wife and I had a solid, loving relationship that would endure through anything life threw our way. But one day when I discovered my wife was having an extramarital affair with my gardener, everything changed. The shock and betrayal I felt in that moment were overwhelming. It shattered the foundation of trust we had built over years, leaving me questioning everything I thought I knew about our marriage. I am a 40-year-old male with a stunning wife of 35. We have been married for almost 2 years now. I wanted us to move to a house with a swimming pool, a nice garden, and a barbecue area. My wife has always been fascinated by the idea of a villa, so on my wife's birthday, I gifted her keys to our new house. I had everything prepared and ready to move in, including all the furniture and decorations that she had always dreamed of. It was a moment filled with excitement and joy as we envisioned the countless memories we would create in our new home. We couldn't wait to invite friends and family over for pool parties and barbecues, enjoying the beautiful garden and creating a haven where we could relax and unwind together. As time progressed, it was getting difficult for us to upkeep the house. We didn't have a lot of spare time to do household chores, so we hired a gardener to take care of our yard and keep our property looking beautiful. The gardener, named Carlos, quickly became a valuable asset to our family. He had an incredible green thumb and transformed our yard into a vibrant oasis. Carlos not only maintained the lawn and trimmed the hedges, but he also introduced us to various plants and flowers that added a burst of color to our surroundings. We also hired a weekly cleaner who would come in once a week and deep clean the entire house. This helped us maintain the house and have friends and family over without being judged for not having a sparkling house. Carlos was a young and dynamic person. He was 28 years old, well-built, and had a charismatic personality that attracted people towards him. Carlos possessed a natural charm. He exuded confidence in every step, leaving a lasting impression on everyone he met. At first, my wife and I were both pleased with the work he did. He was polite, friendly, and always seemed happy to do whatever we needed. But I began to notice small changes in my wife's behavior. She started spending more time outside when he was there and would often bring him a glass of lemonade or a snack. I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease as their interactions became more frequent and intimate. It seemed like there was a subtle shift in their dynamic that I couldn't quite put my finger on. I didn't think anything of it at first. I trusted my wife completely and thought that maybe she was just being friendly. A few months after we bought the house, my wife started seeming less and less interested in having guests over. I would notice her spacing out during our conversations with our guests, which were very unlike her. I asked her if there was something bothering her, but she brushed it off, saying that she was just feeling a little under the weather. However, her behavior continued to concern me as it persisted over time. I decided to give her some space, hoping that giving her some space would allow her to open up about whatever was truly bothering her. However, as time went on, her disinterest in socializing became more pronounced, and I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease about the situation. I knew it was important to address this issue before it started affecting our relationship and our ability to enjoy our new home together.
Hello, everyone. Regrettably, the vast majority of viewers are not currently subscribed to our channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you could take just a moment and click on the subscribe button. Subscribing is free, and you can unsubscribe at any time. We apologize for any inconvenience, and we sincerely thank you if you decide to subscribe.
My work was booming, and I was getting calls from all places to expand my business. I was very content with the way things were going for me. My wife insisted that I should expand my business so that we can fall back on it during bad times. I gave it some thought and decided to take her advice seriously. I realized that expanding my business would not only provide us with a safety net, but also open up new opportunities for growth and success. With this newfound motivation, I began strategizing and exploring different avenues to expand my business. I researched market trends and analyzed potential target markets to identify areas of high demand. Additionally, I sought advice from industry experts and attended business conferences to gain insights on successful expansion strategies. By adopting a proactive approach and implementing innovative marketing techniques, I aim to attract a larger customer base and establish a strong presence in new markets. After careful deliberation, I had finally picked out a new city to expand my business. I had to go on a 2-week business trip and was very skeptical, leaving my wife behind in the big villa all by herself. I suggested that she ask one of her friends or sisters to come over and give her company. However, my wife reassured me that she would be perfectly fine and even take necessary precautions to ensure her safety and enjoy the peacefulness of the villa. Reluctantly, I agreed to trust her judgment and left detailed instructions for her to follow in case of any emergencies. As I embarked on my business trip, a mixture of worry and anticipation filled my mind, hoping that everything would go smoothly for both of us during our time apart. I was unaware of what was brewing between my wife and Carlos, the gardener behind my back. I was done with my business setup earlier than the intended time. I had a few more days for my scheduled departure, so I decided to spend one day shopping for a few things for my dear wife. I wanted to make sure I found the perfect gift for her, so I researched the best shopping areas in the city. With my list in hand, I embarked on a day-long shopping spree, excited to surprise my wife with thoughtful presents upon my return home. As I wandered through the bustling streets, I couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation and joy. The vibrant displays and charming boutiques offered a plethora of options, making it difficult to narrow down my choices. Nonetheless, I carefully selected items that I knew would bring a smile to my wife's face, each one representing a cherished memory or shared interest between us. With the gifts carefully wrapped and tucked away in my bag, I couldn't wait to see the look of delight on her face when she saw me early, and also the things I had carefully selected for her. I did not tell my wife that I would be home earlier than expected. I wanted to surprise her with a candlelight dinner, so I sneaked into the house trying to make as little noise as possible. As I tiptoed through the hallway, I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement, imagining the look of delight on my wife's face when she discovered my surprise. The soft glow of the candles illuminated the dining room, creating a warm and intimate ambiance that I knew would make the evening unforgettable. I carefully set the table with her favorite dishes and poured a glass of her preferred wine, ensuring everything was perfect for our special evening together. As I waited for her arrival, my heart raced with anticipation, eager to see the joy and happiness that would fill her eyes when she walked through the door. As I was returning satisfied from the arrangements, I could hear faint laughter coming from the jacuzzi upstairs. That was weird, as it was just my wife at home. Who could she be laughing with? Was she on her phone? Why would she take her phone to the jacuzzi? She rarely did that. She liked her peace and quiet when she was relaxing. She liked reading books while in the jacuzzi. I was curious and wanted to inspect it. I decided to quietly make my way upstairs, trying not to alert my wife of my presence. As I reached the top of the stairs, the sound of laughter grew louder, making me even more intrigued. I peeked into the bathroom and was surprised to see my wife fully immersed in the jacuzzi, and there just beside her, I saw our gardener in a compromising position. My heart sank as I realized the truth that had been hidden from me. The shock and betrayal I felt in that moment were overwhelming, shattering the trust I had once held so dearly. I was in shock. My wife and I had never had any major problems in our marriage, and I had never suspected her of being unfaithful. But there she was, kissing and touching our gardener, in a way that left no doubt as to what was going on. My mind raced as I tried to make sense of the situation. Questions flooded my thoughts. How long had this been happening? Was there something lacking in our relationship that led her to seek affection elsewhere? That is when it dawned on me that I never saw the gardener anywhere around when I entered the villa, which I found quite weird. Now I know why he always seemed to conveniently disappear whenever I arrived. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place, and it became clear that their affair had been going on right under my nose. The betrayal stung deeply, and I couldn't help but wonder if there were any other secrets they had been keeping from me. I slammed open the door and rushed inside. My eyes were burning with rage. My heart pounded in my chest as I confronted them. My voice trembled with intensity as I demanded an explanation for their actions. Initially taken aback, my spouse began to cry and attempted to apologize, claiming that it had been an error. He was just trying to help her because she screamed after tripping herself. I could see how seamlessly she was lying her way out. I had been downstairs the whole time and there were no screams. The gardener seemed almost indifferent, as if he didn't really care about the damage he had done to our family. His nonchalant attitude only fueled my anger further. I demanded an explanation from the gardener, wanting to understand how he could be so callous. It was clear that his lack of remorse only deepened the rift between us, leaving me questioning whether forgiveness was even possible. The gardener was so emotionless about the entire encounter. He said that my wife was the one who invited him to the jacuzzi, asking for a back massage. I couldn't believe his response. He seemed completely unfazed by the accusation, insisting that he was simply following my wife's request. I knew my wife would never do such a thing. His nonchalant demeanor only fueled my anger further. I confronted my wife about the gardener's claims, but she vehemently denied ever inviting him to the jacuzzi, or left me feeling torn between believing them, and I demanded him to leave immediately, determined to get to the bottom of this unsettling situation. In the days and weeks that followed, my life was turned upside down. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't think straight. I felt like everything I had built with my wife had been a lie, and that I had been a fool for not seeing it sooner. Every moment felt like a painful reminder of the betrayal, and I struggled to find solace in anything. The once vibrant colors of life now seemed dull and meaningless, leaving me questioning my own judgment and wondering how I could move forward from this devastating revelation. As days passed, all I could think of was what I could do to make myself feel better. I decided that I would not divorce but would hire a female gardener and write in her contract that she needs to wear skimpy clothes. I openly flirted with her in front of my wife. I wanted her to know how it feels when someone you love and trust breaks it. I wanted to create a sense of empathy within my wife, hoping that experiencing the pain of betrayal would make her understand the impact of her actions. I had specifically hired this new gardener just to flirt with me to make my wife watch it. My wife was not allowed to go out of the house, no phone calls, and had to seek my permission if she wanted to talk to someone. I created a prison for her in the villa itself. She was allowed to talk only to me. I forced her to watch me and the hot gardener flirt our hearts out. I did exactly as she explained how things transpired between her and Carlos. Every day after breakfast, my wife was to narrate how things slowly developed between her and Carlos. Later in the evening, Ashley and I would recreate the scene she described, acting out the conversations and interactions between her and Carlos. It became our own little performance. As days passed, my wife begged me to leave her alone. I reminded her that she had made a conscious decision to cheat on me, and I had no control over what she did. The same way she had no control over what I do. I started inviting Ashley to our bedroom at night. My wife was to watch us sleep together. I made my wife choose the clothes that Ashley would be wearing every night to bed. She was supposed to sit on the couch and watch me and Ashley enjoy the night till both of us fell asleep. This arrangement created a strange dynamic in our relationship, as my wife struggled with her emotions while witnessing our intimate moments. However, I believed it was necessary for her to fully understand the consequences of her actions and the impact they had on our relationship. A few months later, I came to accept that our marriage was over and that it was time to move on. I focused on healing myself and rebuilding my life, finding solace in the fact that I deserved better than being betrayed. It wasn't easy, and there were plenty of hard days along the way, but I eventually found the strength to pick up the pieces and start over. I got a divorce as it was no fun going on and on with this punishment. I asked my wife to leave the house, and she has no right to carry anything with her when she leaves. Looking back on it now, I realize that I am not alone. There are countless stories out there of people who have been cheated on by their partners. It's a painful, heartbreaking experience that can leave deep scars, but it's also something that you can survive. Finding solace in the experience of others who have gone through similar situations can provide a sense of comfort and reassurance. So here I turn to my editors to share my story. I may have been brutal in the punishment, but it was only because of the deep love I once had for my wife. I hope that by sharing my story, I can find some guidance and support from fellow Reddit users who may have experienced similar challenges in their relationships. It is important for me to emphasize that my intention behind the punishment was rooted in the love and concern I once felt for my wife's well-being. Comment 1.
It's important to remember that healing takes time, and everyone's journey is unique. Seeking support from friends, family, or even professional help can provide the necessary guidance and strength to rebuild trust and move forward in life. Remember, you are not defined by the actions of others, and with self-care and resilience, you can emerge stronger from this challenging experience. Sharing your story and seeking support from loved ones of betrayal.
Comment 2.
OP, I have been through something similar. Know that you are not alone. It's okay to feel angry, hurt, or betrayed, but it's also important to remember that this is not the end of your life. You can and will get through this, and there is a bright future waiting for you on the other side. Take the time to heal and prioritize self-care.
Comment 3.
She deserved every bit of punishment for this betrayal. A man gives you everything that you ever dreamed of, and this is how you repay with. It's truly disheartening to witness such a blatant disregard for loyalty and gratitude. It's difficult to fathom how someone could be so callous towards someone who has given them everything they've ever wanted.
Thank you for tuning in to Audio Tales AI. If you enjoyed today's story, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps these stories coming. Until next time, remember, love, trust, and understanding are the foundation of a great relationship. But betrayal, lust, and deception make for the best YouTube videos.